Hey,
Hi, Debbie.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Oh, good. We were going to put that up too. It's such a great banner.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I did it myself.
So we don't need to put it up again next time. Cool. How you been?
Bye. I'm doing pretty good with a month of published work behind me. It's kind of surreal, and I was explaining to a friend the other day how the vacuum between finishing one book and that rush that comes from it, and then the dip that comes having to write the next book is
Yeah.
like coming off of a roller coaster, and you're walking down the switchback path while everybody else gets on the roller coaster and takes off, and you're kind of walking away from you. Like, well, now I got to go wait in line again.
Yeah, but and also in addition to that, you've got to market the book. That's where I am at now. I was like just starting my marketing journey to republish all my books, like after you told me that kind words that you said about how to do it. And so I'm like, but just not ready for that at all. I'm really not looking forward to it, but you
Right.
got to do it because um especially even if the publisher that they only put you out for, they only do PR on you for one time that you're in their catalog, and then it's
Yep.
up to you. You got to do it yourself. That's why we
Yep.
started this platform so that we can promote authors and artists and everybody that want to have something promoted. We can promote you for free and come on the show, and that way we'll be able to get our word out. We have to do it ourselves, and
Right.
it's fun to do it. Plus, it's fun meeting everybody, and it's fun to connect with you again. Are you
Well,
still work?
I certainly appreciate the opportunity. So thank you very much for having me. This inaugural podcast, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. It's launching on July 23rd.
Great.
So, yeah. So, tell us about the Awakening Fire. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. It was just really the way you build your world, and they're so descriptive. It's just amazing. And the thing I was looking at it is it would make such a great video game. It just really lends itself to it. It's really it's like a journey, and I can see the levels, and I can see the goals and all I was
Well,
like thinking,
it's funny that you say that. Originally, Cogs of Legend was meant to be a video game.
mm,
From 2010 till around 2018, I was trying to off and on get picked up as an independent video game developer. My
mhm,
background in art is with game art and design, and we never picked up funding to be able to do any of the projects. But one of the intellectual properties we had set up as we kind of spaced out the different genres of things we could do was a children's game that played a lot like Skylanders or Spyro the Dragon, and it was called Cogs of Legend. And with that, when you're a game developer, you have to make a lot of the content in advance. You have to plan everything out. There's called a game Bible, and
mhm.
it has the look, the style, the a little bit of dialogue, leveling, all that stuff that you had mentioned. And so when I had this in place, and I walked away because I had to get a day job, this authoring journey struck me around 3 years later, 2020, 2021, and I asked if I could take the intellectual property with me because I wanted to do steampunk, and that was the genre. And my co-partner at the time said he didn't have a problem with it, and I've got the copyright, so it was a match destined to be.
Yeah, and I can see that eventually it's going to be a video game. We're just going to manifest that, right?
Exactly,
I want to
exactly. Yeah, we'll
play
go
it.
backwards. Try to make a game, write a book, and then make a game.
Yeah, I
It
mean, it'd
went
be
out of order.
so fun. So tell me about Awakening Fire. How did you get the idea? And tell me a little bit about your thoughts on it.
I come from a bit of a superhero background. You and I go way back, and doing San Diego Comic-Con and being a legacy reader since I was about 13, all these fantastic abilities that superheroes had. I wanted to translate that into a genre that was in the world of steampunk because I've been fascinated with the Victorian and industrial era and just all the steam noir. And so from that was the genesis of
Mhm.
Awakening Fire, which employs specific materials that when combined together into cogs and when they're spun to put kinetic and energy or well, when energy is put into them spin, they will create elemental effects, fire,
Mhm.
water, gravity, power, and etc. And from that came the the technology to build it, and I kind of came with the guts of how things would work first.
Mhm.
And it all kind of starts with that too. It was an ancient technology within the story, and there was a cataclysm because people abused the power of these cogs. And when it kind of ripped the world apart, and there was 70 years of darkness, and they came back out, they said, "Well, you know what? Let's not do that again. That's kind of a bad thing." So they created a religion around making energy cogs a sin, and mankind forgot about these, except for one clandestine group that has been kind of shepherding the world in the case something ever was found again. And that's where Alice, our lead heroine, comes in. So Alice Archer is a mostly irresponsible but savvy tinkerer and works for the railways. And one day on the job, there's a broken train, and she has to go down and retrieve this broken part and stumbles upon one of these relics, a fire cog, in a cave. And it's never been seen before, the things that it can do. And so the steel company finds out, and the steel company is kind of the big bad enterprise that's got a monopoly on just about everything. And so if they can take this power, then they can, do more, rule more, make more money. And so they kind of go to all ends to get it from her, and that puts her on an adventure as a run for her life kind of thing. And the rest of her history and background flare out from it. And there's more than just, that one point and that one cog that she finds that reveals and makes the beginning of the 8-part series that I'm writing.
Yeah, I love her. She's not perfect, and she just keeps going and fumbles, and conversations are fun. It was really exciting to read. I really enjoyed it. It kept me enthralled the whole time.
Thank you. I absolutely wanted to make her relatable.
Mhm.
The term Mary Sue has been thrown around a lot
Mhm.
in different genres where somebody can do everything right the first time. And I wanted to keep as far away from that as possible.
Yeah.
Challenges as I'm going forward in the other books is as she's actually achieving these levels of accomplishment and becoming more confident, a better fighter, a better tinkerer, I still have to create those setbacks,
Mhm.
not only just to build her as a character, but to have those trials that the reader wants to root her to overcome.
Yeah, but it's nice to see that growth. It's really nice. Tell me about some of the other characters. You have such great characters.
Great. Yeah. So I'll round out the heroes
Okay.
first. Alice has a mentor, father figure. She has a mysterious past where she ended up at 9 years old in this town of Cogsport and was raised by the local blacksmith. And she lives in a brothel. She was taken in by the madam, and though she doesn't work there, she's certainly taken care of by this mother and father figure. So Ruger Wagner is the blacksmith, the local guy, and he's just got this old decrepit shop that's fallen by the wayside, and he takes on odd jobs. And he's kind of that grizzled veteran as a legionnaire in his past, and taught her how to smelt and taught her how to do all these other things. And so he's got a little bit of secrets behind him that he doesn't tell Alice about at first, and that gets uncovered later. Her matron, Celine, who runs the Celine's Emporium, which is the brothel, is very much a scolding mother figure, but Alice kind of brings it on herself, and she's extremely, she's a very classy lady for all intents and purposes, also has an interesting background. Her best friend, Henry Carter, and Henry is a plumber on the railways with Alice, and they were teenage heartthrobs at one point in time and then decided to stay friends. So Henry's been about as thick as thieves with Alice for the long time that they've been there. And when her life takes a turn, she has to go out on the road with Ruger. Henry decides, he says, "Hey, I'm going to come with you. I'll keep you safe, and I'll be there for you as your friend." And those are kind of the main heroes that we see. The opposite side of that coin, we've got four villains that we see, and they're at kind of varying levels of interaction throughout that with Alice. The first we meet is Ravona Urge. Ravona is this bulking, hulking woman who's not necessarily book smart, but is a mechanic, physically, robust, and she's the chief mechanic and runs the train. She's very, I would say, abusive and short-tempered with Alice because everybody thinks Alice is this savant and she's a miracle worker and always gets the attention and adulation despite the fact that Ravona is her boss. And she'll kind of be the main antagonist in the story. The next two people we meet is Servo Switch, who becomes more of a villain, a more prominent villain in book two. And Servo is the COO, the Chief Operations Officer for Darius Steele. I'll talk about him in a second. But he's the guy who's trying to get the money. He's the guy who's trying to make the company powerful. And he is a very black and white kind of person. If this is what we need, I'm going to go get it. He has no compulsions about doing things a little subversive or a little off the books to, push people or make people disappear to get what he needs in order to make the boss happy. His right-hand woman is Millicent Graves. Millicent is his legal assistant, and she's a little bit like that Baroness character from G.I. Joe, kind of that sultry but intelligent. I wouldn't necessarily say she's manipulative, but she knows her way around social circles, and she can even sometimes work over Servo when she needs to get something that she wants. And so those two are the two people that are hunting for Coglor. They're looking for this knowledge that was lost so that the steel company can get rich. And all of that is for Darius Steel. Darius Steel is a legacy family bloodline that 150 years ago, when this one cog of legend, hence the namesake of the book, and the cogs of legend are these seven legendary cogs that I can explain later. But their family found this and decided to, buy all the rights to it. And since they had it at the origination when they found it, now they've got a conglomerate. They've got, their fingers in everything. Kinetics division. They run all the power. They run the city. They've got security for the city instead of a police for it. And so Darius is a very nice on the surface. Well, come on in. It's always nice to see you. How are you today? But the minute he needs something, he can flip that switch very quickly. And I haven't been able to kind of let his threatening countenance out yet. But it'll be fun to get to him a little bit more when he gets his hands dirty instead of using people like Servo to get what he needs.
Yeah. The other thing I liked about it is that it's written for adults. It's not a teen thing. It's a little crass and vibrant and fast moving and action packed. Even the dialogue's action packed. It's really, really nice.
When I came up with it, because the game had started as a children's book, I had toyed with the idea of making it a young adult genre that could be, in that lower demographic, a lot like the Harry Potter scene, where it was, could be a little bit scary, but not too bad. And that's just not me.
Yeah.
I wanted to make an epic, and you don't make movies like Dune or, Marvel Infinity War by, not killing people or having
Yeah.
something that bad can happen. And so I found a happy medium. The original version of the book had a little bit more intense sensuality with some of the
Hmm.
characters and a lot more gore, language, and adult themes.
Hmm.
And after I got with my editor and I found some things, it didn't work too much to have it. It was getting a little too Game of Thrones. And so I throttled it back a bit to make it more just above PG-13. So the average age, I think, would be good, would be at least 15 and up.
Yeah, I think so. Hey Ty, let's run the trailer. I'm gonna show you a trailer that you made.
Great. Yes, please do.
It's really cool. Did
Ta-da.
did you make that yourself?
No, I had a commissioned videographer through Fiverr that I found produced that for me and took a little bit of finagling because there isn't a whole lot of Steam video footage that's kind of out there. So he put together what we could find that linked it well. And chronologically, it actually works pretty well. So I was very happy with how that turned out as the first trailer.
Yeah, it's really great. Now your second book. Let's show the Tyler, let's show the cover of Awakening Fire. We're gonna we'll edit some out when edit parts out that we need to edit out. There you go. So this is Awakening Fire. Your cover's amazing. You probably designed this yourself, right?
I did. I did. I used a lot of different programs to put that together. I've got a degree in art, and I'm kind of one of the old long tooths from when Photoshop was made, using that in Illustrator to do most of the design and layout work. And I got the imagery from um, an outside source.
Nice. And let's show the second book that you have that you're writing now. It's on Kindle, isn't it? Your second book?
Book two has it's listed as pre-order.
Oh, it's pre-order.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's not really
Not
ready for print. And to give myself a little grace to write the third book and have some room in between, I'm trying to stay one book ahead. So it's pushed up pre-order till February. I'm really hoping to have it published by the end of the year. And the second book, Unleashing Power, picks up right after where book one took off. And funny story, when I originally wrote the story, it ended at where book two ends, and it was, I think it was like 289,000 words, and I had no concept of what books were. I got a heck of an education in the last year and a half, and the book length was certainly one of them. My editor says, "Hey, right here, just about past the middle, that's where book one needs to end,
oh.
and now you've got two books. Congratulations!" And so I went and wrote again, I rewrote parts of book one so that it would end logically where it was, and I have a little bit of that cliffhanger. And then where I'm sorry, book number two starts, then it's got a really good launching point from it. And I added a good, gosh, I'd say five chapters, another 25,000 words to make it about the same length. And
Huh?
those additions really solidified its, good character building, both
Oh,
heroes
awesome.
and villains. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait to read that one. Have fun. So, are you still working on comics, doing The Gifted at all? You had such a great series called The Gifted.
Right. Yeah, I got into comic art again back in the 90s, and I started creating my own series, The Gifted, which is a swords and sorcery story that focused more on wizards
Mm-hmm.
instead of knights or the paladins or anybody that's up front. I had this reverse psychology where if you play Dungeons and Dragons, the squishy ones are the wizards. And so I wanted to flip the script on that and instead make the wizards the ones that are like really threatening. But yes, I had created it and written it as a six-issue series. I'm still working about halfway through on issue five.
Hmm.
So I've got about one and a half books left to draw. So I wrote it and I'm drawing it and then working with Q Publishing. He's acquiring the other talent for creating the final inks, fine-tuning the storyline, and then getting the colors for that before the whole thing will be published.
Oh, that's great. I can't wait to read the whole thing. I read the first few issues and they're awesome. So,
Thank you.
how does you were in the Navy, how does your background in military work into your books?
Yeah, that's funny. So I did 23 years. I lived the enlisted side, so the deck plate level at the working part, and then all the way up to the officer side for the leadership part. And all of those little nuances, understanding the mechanical side, electrical side of systems, and how big things can be. I mean, I know how aircraft carriers work from the top to the bottom.
Wow.
And so that mechanical industrial side, the perspective of the force needed, the power needed, that plays all into all the technicality that I created with Alice and the machines that happen in the
Okay.
steampunk world. And then having the hierarchy of different infrastructure at this secret society I mentioned. So I'm able to stagger that and understand the relationship of honors and customs, and also within the corporate structure, because I work in a public utility now, and there's also another hierarchy that works from that. So being able to banter both of those back, one is mostly for the hero side as we see Alice tinker and make her way up, and the other is from the machinations, and I wouldn't say in it's certainly how they're planning, how the bad guys are planning to go at things like this, from how they can take it over legally in the front light, right? So it was a really fun mashup to get both of those sides, and I could just pull that out like I was taking a book off a shelf from my experiences.
You're so cute. It's like I can tell that you really like all the gadgets and all the work and there's a lot more that you're saying not saying, like the secrets of behind the scenes that have
So
happened in
hard,
your business.
so hard not to talk about the book. I know everything.
So it's so exciting. Um, so what do you plans now?
Hmm.
What do you want to do now?
Right. Well, I have when I created the series, I really had a solid idea, even if it was two sentences long, of what would happen in the whole saga. And it originally started as a 5 book idea, and then after seeing how big book one was and having to cut it in half, I was like, this is supposed to be what's going to happen. So I need to take these 3 books and split them into six, and then have a seventh because there are 7 cogs of legend, which if you want, I can explain those. And then the final conclusion makes it an 8 book series. So in
Wow.
that, yeah. So because I've got the first two that's already done, I'm obviously just working on one after the other. My goal is to try and get 2 books a year. If
Hmm.
possible, we'll see what I can honestly do because I still have a day job. I can't write professionally. I don't have the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
no,
what?
no.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's the goal is to just try and get the whole 8 book series out, and see where it goes. If there's interest in the series, I can go multiple ways. I can go back to a time frame when it was a different era with different characters. I can go forward based on what happens after the current characters have their existing relationships and what that leads to for a new era, or try and have adventures with the same characters. And if not, I've decided to keep it punk, keep it
Hmm.
punk. So I have steampunk. There's 2 other versions. There's a diesel punk,
Hmm.
and then there's cyberpunk. So cyberpunk is very futuristic, Blade Runner, et cetera, like that kind of a
Okay.
gritty future. And diesel punk is 1910-ish to
Oh,
about the
wow.
1940s. So you think about that era where steampunk is 1880s to the early
Okay.
1900s, the Industrial Revolution, but when heavy metal tanks and big machines and the choking gas and all that good stuff. So there's a dark, grittier feel that comes with it that I could do a different genre with all new characters as another 8 part series in either of those, which I certainly want to do both anyway. So that could be 3 different genres in 3 different series.
Wow. Using the same characters?
Oh no. No,
Oh, okay.
if it's steampunk, I'll try and stick with the people that I've created with Alice
Okay.
and Henry and bad guys.
Well, they're such strong characters, they could really be plopped into anything and make it work. That's a great.
That would be a lack of creativity. That's something it'd be an easy out. Hey, Alice. Well, that sounds like that's a familiar name.
Really mean, yeah,
Is that your
really.
hero in the cyberpunk world? Well, oh gosh, it just came to me.
So you work at a utility company right now?
I do.
What do you do?
I'm a technical writer, as if
Oh,
being a literary Imagineer wasn't enough. I write technical documents for assembling and disassembling hydroelectric generators.
oh wow, interesting. I think
Which
what's interesting is that you've had so many uh different types of careers in your life and you're thriving and um people are going to have to be doing that. And so it's one of the reasons we wanted to do this platform was to show that it doesn't have to be scary, that people can get through it and still enjoy life, And you've really done well.
It is, yeah. And if I was going to drop some advice to the listeners or viewers, it would be to try and make sure you've got a mentor.
Mhm.
I thought I knew a lot about writing, but it isn't, for me, it wasn't just about coming up with the brain vomit of putting all the stuff down on paper and having the cool ideas. Part of it is the technique of making it marketable and appealing so that people can read through it. It was not a very solid first draft when I made it, and people were like, I'm so bored, you're over explaining things. And it's tempered over time so that I can be much better at it, hopefully. And I'll get stronger as I go. But yeah, getting a mentor, somebody that can walk you through that. And as a self-published person, everything from the writing side, the book design, coming up with how you're going to market it, the release dates, how Amazon works, all that stuff is a learned skill that anybody can do, and probably just by watching YouTube.
Yeah, actually, would you expand on that a little bit? Because you really gave me some good advice. And you did your whole release with Awakening Fire. You planned it really well, and you got the reviewers and all that. So expand on that a little bit, because I think people can benefit from that.
Sure. Uh, Originally, I just wanted to, when the book was done and it was to a point that it could be published, printed, and sold, I wanted to just say, here it is, make a post on social media and say, hey, I've written a book. Here's where it is. The counter to that, by my coach's advice, is give it at least 4 weeks beforehand, put it up on Amazon as a pre-order, and then as you're doing it, you can build hype, social media, start releasing, doing cover reveals, and the majority of it is intended to inspire people that want to get into it And with that is what's called an ARC read. So advanced reader copies are free versions of my digital book that I give to other readers that say, I will give you a free copy of my book. And within the next month, please read the book. And then the day it drops, be able to put reviews on Amazon and please buy a digital version that's on sale for 99 cents for less than a cup of coffee. You can
Mhm.
help a starving author with reviews. And they did. That's what they did. And that's why you get those verified purchases that are there. And then even though it's a new book, it has legitimate, honest feedback from the readers that are there, and it gives people who have never heard about a first-time author, first-time book, and it gives them, a little bit more confidence in that. And part of this, the other part of the campaign was having book two ready and up for pre-sale. So the minute they find one, they'll see that the series is actually going somewhere. It's not just this nebulous thing. Apparently, a lot of readers, before they want to commit to getting into something that's labeled as a series, is they want a little bit of confidence that the author's going to finish it. And by always having one book available or seen that it's coming out soon, even if it's going to be farther out but released sooner, it gives a little bit of that comfort zone that, okay, I can go ahead and get into this. So reviews and confidence, I guess, were the biggest things, and then giving enough time in between to make a social media presence, being able to have a landing page, which I'm not sure how many people know what that is. It's a one-page thing for a newsletter sign up, and you give away some of your books.
Mhm.
And for me, I made a short novella. It's about 15,000 words, and it takes place one day before this. It's a prequel of Alice and Henry as an adventure around town, and that way they can even get a free note of your style and see what the book's all about. And it all kind of leapfrogs together in chains into a pretty little, paper doll cutout.
Yeah, and your website's great too. Pull up his website so we can see it. So yeah, see, it's just really well done. Scroll down so we can see the whole thing.
Thank you. Yeah, and right there's the newsletter sign up. So it's the first thing people see. I wanted to have a one-page thing that people didn't have to click around a lot. And for those of you who like to save money, this is a free website that I made myself through Google Sites. I bought the domain, but I don't have to pay to maintain the website. And I'm just trying to feature the one thing. Later, if it gets to the point where I would try to sell my own books, and you have to be very good at writing and have a lot of fans to be able to sell your own books, in my opinion, then it might eventually grow. But everything I need can be stuffed onto one page. So if you go to that site, www.chaddulac.com, it gives you the blurb from the back of the book with the first cover there and a link to where it's being sold. These are the three main characters. You've got Alice on the left, Henry in the middle there, and her mentor Ruger on the right. And that gives a little bit of background of what it is. So it was really just to be this fun little surface value thing without having to get too deep and saturate people with too many words.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then I love this picture of you. Where'd you get that hat?
My wife got it for me as I was putting together a steampunk costume. She
Oh,
found that one online and got it. I'm trying to get another one, maybe a little taller, a little Mad Hatter looking. And
oh, that would be fun. Thanks, Ty. That's good.
she said no. She said, "You don't need another hat. You've already got one."
How funny. Well, anything else you want to add before we have to, our session ends?
Gosh, I suppose I want to say thank you. There are so many people that take a chance, and trying to be an author is hard in its own right. I followed the statistics on how likely a person is to write a book and how many people start but never finish and how many people actually publish even though they finish writing it. And it makes me feel, like a very narrow part of that. And to put out something when Amazon has millions and millions of book titles, and that somebody stopped and decided to take a look at mine and decided to give it a chance, even if they don't like the genre. That's the biggest thanks I have is for the fans and for the people that are starting to get into it. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure that they are coming out on time so you don't have to wait in between too many books. And I will finish the series. So if you're ever curious about that, yes, it will get done.
I'm not curious because I know you will, and I'm going to read them all. So thank you. And I want to play that video game too. I really want to
Yeah.
play it.
I'll have
So
to I'll have to send you some of the concept art I had for it that I drew up. was
Oh,
really
I'm
good stuff.
sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure. And the gameplay, the mechanics of the gameplay would be so fun. You could do so many things with your building the cars. I mean, that would be my favorite place is the garage.
Yeah, right. You can customize your own ride. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, fun. All right. Well, thank you very much. Say hi to your wife, lovely wife, and I love you, and it's good to see you again, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
So wonderful to see you, Debbie. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Bye, Chad.
All right. Bye bye.